Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Live coverage of Sterling on the road at Collingswood, waiting for the impending monsoon. That should be happening relatively soon. Mr. K, are you with us?
There we go, Rob. It looks like it's going to be a nice night for football. Looking forward to it right now.
We are set up in the far end zone. Definitely one of the more unique places that we've been set up and doing a broadcast over the last 13 years or so. And due to the stands not being around, Tad, they're renovating their stands. So if you happen to drive by Collingswood, in the back of the high school is where the football field is located. The stands, which stood there for decades, Tad.
Almost 100 years.
They have now been leveled, and they are working on getting a new setup here. As you can see, all of the crane lifts that are going up right now. This is where the coaches will set up. They'll set up on a series of scissor lifts that they brought in here. So it's an interesting setup here tonight, Ted.
It's funny you say that, because originally the nice people at Collingswood suggested that we go up in the lift with the coaches, and I said there's no way the coaches want us up there.
They do
with
not.
that.
No, they do not.
So that's why tonight we are trying something different. We are going to be in the end zone, and this shapes up to be a tremendous game. As I guess we'll find out now who gets the toss and all that stuff.
So we're going to apologize ahead of time for some of our missed calls, especially on the numbers for Collingswood. They are wearing gold, all the way gold, and then their numbers are also gold as well. So we're going to apologize ahead of time. That's my easy disclaimer there, Schulze, as we get ready for tonight.
Yeah, we could see them when they were over here, and it was kind of in the shadows, but when the light hits them, when they're more than 20 yards away, you're right.
You got no shot.
So we'll do our best to accommodate the players here tonight, and especially for Collingswood, with Sterling wearing the white with their blue, so that shouldn't be an issue. And the latest weather report saying that we shouldn't get some rain in here until probably 9 or 10 o'clock. We're hoping that we're long gone by that point.
We better be.
I would hope so.
We hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time,
looks like the national anthem now, Rob.
Remove your hats as we honor our nation with the playing of our national anthem, presented by our very own Collingswood Panther Marching Band.
Playoffs on the line for both of these teams as we broadcast live from Collingswood High School. Rob Stroud, Tad Kozaneski, Kevin Schulz, and John Hall. We're going to bring you all the live action in what is going to be a great contest here tonight. Both of these teams need this win tonight, Kevin. It's just going to be a matter of who wants it more.
Two evenly matched teams, and it sounds like a cliche, but it's the team that makes the most mistakes that's probably going to come out on the short end.
And they moved this game back to 6 o'clock to try and skirt the rain that is on the way. They're scheduled a nor'easter, which is going to wipe out all of Saturday. So if there are any Saturday games in the area, they are more likely going to be washouts. But we are set up in the back end zone here today, Tad, and a unique setup, something that we, in our broadcasting, I don't think we've ever broadcasted from the back corner of the end zone.
Yeah, and the reason being is we look to the right here. For years, Collingswood had the biggest, longest, widest, oldest fans of stands in South Jersey. They just knocked them down completely. So what you can see here now, the coaches are on lift, the scoreboard operators in the middle. I feel like we're doing an MTV event or something right now. But that's why we are in the end zone, and it's a big game, and it's a matter of who we're going to play now.
Calvin Toomer as well as Michael Jenkins are back deep to receive. Collingswood wearing the all gold, little bit of black trim on the numbers, which unless they are about 25 yards in front of us, we're not going to be able to see their numbers. Sterling will kick off to open the game. Sterling coming into the game 4-4. Collingswood 5-3, and in all likelihood, Kevin, the team that wins this game will advance into the final 8 of the playoffs, which will start next week.
Yeah, no question about it. They're both very close in those PowerPoint standings, and like I said, a win by either team is going to really garner a lot of power points for that team.
Nick Harmer on to kick off for Sterling. Puts the ball sideways as he's been doing recently, trying to get a low line drive potentially, and that's exactly what happens. Goes off one of the up backs. Collingswood picks it up, and they are going to scamper out to about the 35, maybe the 40-yard line, and that's where Collingswood will take over 1st and 10. Again, our vantage point is very difficult. We're going to rely on both the scoreboard and the chain gang there, doing a great job on the near sideline. All of the fans are on the left-hand side of your screen.
And Kevin, as you look at the stats here, it appears that they don't throw the ball a lot if you really break down those Collingswood stats. So I look for a lot of running from them today.
Yeah, it's a running offense, and if you do throw the ball, it'll be short passes just to mix things up, soften up the defense a little bit. But you're going to see them run a lot of tackle to tackle.
1st and 10 for Collingswood from the 39-yard line. And a quick run out to the right-hand side, quickly tackled by Sterling, bringing up 2nd down. Gain of about 3 on the play.
Now they just went off to the right side right there. Got a pretty good initial push off to the right side. We're able to have a decent 1st down there.
Under center, Andy Clark, the junior quarterback. I hand it off again, a nice hole off to the left-hand side, pushed out of bounds into the Sterling bench, very close to a 1st down. Looks like they may be just a little bit short. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short.
Yeah, they got to the outside in a hurry. It looked like Sterling went with a double blitz, but weren't able to get to the ball carrier, and it's going to be a 3rd and short here for Collingswood. So Collingswood, you know, if they had to really draw things up and see how things went initially, they get themselves into a 3rd and short right here. So they have to feel pretty good about those first couple plays.
3rd and 2, ball placed at the 47-yard line. Clark under center, puts a man in motion to the right, and he hands it to that man for a short gain. We'll see where they mark it, and he's going to be very close to the 1st down. They're going to say 4th down. So an interesting call already for Michael McCown and the rest of the Collingswood Panthers.
And it looks like it's like 4th and 1 from here, the middle of the field. So
a gutsy call.
Yes, it is.
And, you know, this is a team that prides itself on its running game, so probably more likely to go for it in this situation when you're having that type of mindset on offense.
They're going to come out here on 4th down and 1, ball at the 48. Clark under center with 1 man in the backfield. Hands it to one of the upbacks, 1st down and more. Big hole for the Panthers. Tackled on the play by Jameer Beasley.
Yeah, and you can see the holes. That's the one thing. Our vantage point is tough to see how many yards they're getting on each carry, but you can see the holes open up, and had a nice hole off to that left side to get the first down. And that's the type of call that the coach is saying, hey, I have confidence in my offensive line. And, they rewarded them with the first down.
And if you can do that on 4th down, that hole we saw, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Clark under center with a fresh set of downs. 2 minutes into this game, still scoreless here from Collingswood. Handoff up the middle again, and then going to push the pile forward for a short gain, tackled on the play. Charles McMillan, among others, in there on the tackle for the Knights.
And a team that doesn't throw the ball a lot, but, at some point you have to feel like, especially having success with the running game, that's going to force Sterling to kind of creep up. So it leaves himself just a little bit susceptible to any type of play-action pass.
Gain of 3 on the play brings up 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 41-yard line, under 9.5 remaining here in the opening quarter. Winner in all likelihood will go to the playoffs, as a little misdirection off to the right side for another short gain. Jason Schulz in there on the tackle for Sterling.
Yeah, when you talk about the playoffs, the winner will be in the playoffs. The loser most likely has a decent shot, might need a little help, but the winner's in.
The gain of about 5 on the play brings up 3rd down and 2. And, if Sterling wins this game, you're looking at either Camden or West Deptford next week, both of which will be on the road either way.
Both tough games, right? Straight in the playoffs.
3rd down and 3. Clark going to put a man in motion to his left, hand it to one of the other backs, and they're not going to get the first down. That's going to bring up another 4th down situation. And Demir Robertson, who's back into the game all fired up.
He's back.
He's been missing for the last 3 or 4 weeks with an injury. He is now back in the game, made a big tackle there.
Big tackle there, and it's really good to see Demir Robertson, a senior leader, back in there on both sides of the ball, because he really has an impact not only on defense but on the offensive side of the ball.
It's going to bring up a 4th and 2. Ball at the 36-yard line. 8 minutes remaining here in a scoreless first quarter. Glad you joined us here on Channel 19 and Sterling High School Radio. Live from Collingswood, Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, Tad Kozaneski, and John Hallwood, with all the playoff implication action here on an early start. Quick pitch off to the right side. They'll see where they spot the ball, and it looks like he's going to get the first down, and does.
Yeah, won the race to the outside, and was able to win a race around the edge and get just what he needed for the first down. So, I think, the key to Collingswood here is getting themselves in 3rd and even 4th in short situations.
And that's the it play around the NFL, that pass where you just flip it in front, or if you drop it, it's incomplete. That's the it play. And again, if you're not really a passing team, that was pretty effective.
And it gets you out there that much quicker.
Ball at the 33-yard line now, so Collingswood on a nice time-consuming drive. Almost 5 minutes expired here in this opening quarter. Pitch to the left side now. Nobody home from that one. Nick Harmer, Eric Schulz, among others, on the tackle.
Well,
Kevin, Jason Schulz was in there too.
Yeah,
was Jason in there? Did I say Eric again?
He said Eric. He's got
God bless us. That's a second tackle.
Second varsity tackle.
Amazing. Good work out of him.
He's that good.
He's tackling from the couch tonight, probably.
I'll tell you what, this possession
One of these
game,
days I'll get that right.
The possession game from Collingswood is impressive. As you mentioned, Rob, the clock ticking like 6:40 and counting to go here in this first half.
And definitely a ball control offense that you can see if they get ahead by a score or two, they're going to be really tough.
And the one thing that's probably driving Coach Harris nuts is you had 2 chances to get them off the field on 4th and 3, and they couldn't get them off the field. Clark looking to pass out to the right-hand side. He's going to keep it himself, be pushed out of bounds on that far sideline by Gavin Clark into his own bench. And you look at the Collingswood bench, Schulze, they don't have a lot of substitutions as opposed to Sterling.
No, it's definitely a short bench, and nice job there by Gavin Clark. In that situation, you do one of 2 things. You're forced to push the play back to the inside or just kind of feather things out, and that's what Gavin Clark did, not allowing the quarterback to get around the edge. Real nice play on the outside.
It looks like any pass is not going to be a straight drop back. It's going to be some type of rollout option.
No gain on the play brings up 3rd down and 10. Ball at the 33-yard line, so maybe a pass play here. Nope, they're going to run it on a little misdirection right up the middle and gain maybe a handful of yards at best. That will bring up a 4th and longer situation. We've seen a 4th and 3 the last couple times. This one will be more like 4th and 6.
Yeah, and this is where you got to watch out for, Tad, you talked about it, that quick toss, the shuttle toss right there where it's almost like a little pass, especially when you've got that wide side of the field and you've got some speed in that Collingswood backfield.
It's almost like the jet sweep, Rob, except it goes in front, and instead of pitching it behind or handing it off, you throw it in front, and that way if it's dropped, it's incomplete. You don't risk a turnover.
4th and 7 on the way, 5.5 remaining here in the first.
Sometimes I think fourth downs is not always, depending on your offense, you feel comfortable with your defense with these situations.
Whistle on the field, and it's going to be a timeout on the field. Collingswood calls timeout, 5:26 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. And very interesting setup here. You can hear the train in the background. You'll hear some planes overhead as we are a little bit closer to Philadelphia International Airport, but we are set up in the back of the end zone here and right next to the big inflatable Panther adjacent to
he's still there. I'm going to turn and show you guys, and we'll see the Panther here. There's your Panther, and there's our new student announcer. How you doing? Introduce yourself to everybody.
John Hall.
John Howard.
See, and there's Schulze back there. And Rob, you're hiding from us.
I like to hide.
Okay. I know you're wanted. But again, they were the home bleachers right there. No more.
Man, I would love to see them.
They went pretty much from goal line to goal line, solid cement. Really neat underneath. So get ready to welcome back our TV audience here in a second, Rob.
Still no score here from Collingswood. 5:26 remaining and a 4th and 6 on the way for Collingswood. They've already converted 2 4th downs so far on this opening drive. They've held the ball for over 6.5 minutes to open this game.
A potential also seeing the rollout in this play.
Clark looking in the flat, and he's sacked in the backfield. Sacked on the backfield by Jared Matchett, and Sterling will take over on downs.
Well, they figured that Collingswood was going to go to that wide side. Matchett being on the short side over there, took a chance, not much of a chance, but had him go on a blitz. He came in, got through that tackle hole, looked like tackle end hole, and really gave Collingswood no shot.
Sterling takes over on downs with excellent field position at their own 40-yard line. Wilsey under center on 1st and 10. We run off to the right side, our left, and a short gain. Collingswood defense all over it on that left side.
Yeah, just going off to the right side, and they really are trying to, and have done this in a lot of their games to start off, feel things out from tackle to tackle, as most teams would do, see if you can win the battle up front.
No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. 4 3/4 minutes remaining here in a scoreless first. So much. I believe that's Jacob Johnson, I believe, on the carry. We'll see if when they umpile the bodies, it's either that or L.J. Williams.
And you're going to hear a lot of I believe and we think, and we apologize, folks, here as we talked about. No bleachers really to house us, so it was either go in the end zone or not do the game. And I'm also doing my best, Rob, to follow it on TV. It's very difficult on this side of the ball to follow what's going on.
Unless we get in the red zone coming towards us, it's going to be really, really tough.
So we believe, we think so.
At least we'll get a nice view of the touchdown.
Yes.
I like your optimism. 3rd down and 8 for Sterling. Again, Wilsey flushing out to his right side, pushed out of bounds into their own Sterling bench. He does not get the 1st down. He's going to be well short, maybe a gain of a handful at best. It will be 4th down, and the punt team comes out, and actually he looks like he lost yardage on that. So hard to tell, Kevin.
Kevin, the pursuit, very, very quick for this Collingswood team.
Yeah, did a good job getting to the outside. The only thing that's encouraging is that he was able to get out there. I know some of the games where they had trouble, it was when the defense got upfield so quick, you couldn't even get to the outside. He was being tackled like 4 yards into that rollout.
Wilsey actually lost 4 yards on the scramble, and that brings up a punt situation. Harmer will punt it away. Calvin Toomer back to receive. Toomer backs up, and now he's just going to let it bounce as Harmer left it short, and it will die around the 25, inside the 30-yard line at about, I believe, I'm going to guess here, I'm going to say the 26-yard line, guys.
Well, a real nice punt by Nick Harmer in what's shaping up to be a field position game with the way things have started out here.
And Rob, do some math for me. Time of possession roughly for Collingswood compared to Sterling on that drive.
I mean, Sterling may have had the ball for about 90 seconds on that drive. Yeah. They ran a couple run plays and then that one push out of bounds. That's about it. Collingswood takes over 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. 3:44 remaining here in a scoreless first. Andy Clark hands it off to one of the bigger backs in the backfield. That is Michael Jenkins, able to find just a little bit of room as Jameer Robertson loses his helmet on the tackle.
Jenkins is a big dude, too.
Jenkins standing 6'1", 195.
He looks bigger than that.
He does. They look a lot smaller when we're in the press box.
Yes.
Now, good job by Jameer Robertson getting over there. Had to come out of the game. Looked like he had an issue, he said, with his helmet.
Yeah, you need a helmet to play, last I checked.
You might need that. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 6 as we approach the 3-minute mark. And a handoff off tackle, a little bit of room there for Collingswood, but not much. That's going to bring up a 3rd, and we're going to call it 3.
And I think the bread and butter of this Collingswood offense is getting 3, 4 yards a pop. But again, putting them in 3rd and short, and when you're able to do that in a consistent basis, that's the type of ball control drive that can wear down a defense.
This is a big play here because if you can stop Sterling, you should get good field position.
Yeah.
3rd and 3, ball at the 33. Threes everywhere for Collingswood. They're not going to get the 1st down. As you can hear the whistles, Sterling defense trying to push the pile backwards.
It looks like, well, they did
give it. Okay. Again, it's so hard to tell from where we are. If he got the 1st down, he didn't get it by much.
And that's a big 1st down for Collingswood, as you guys just alluded to. You know, they punt in that situation, and Sterling, barring an incredible punt, would probably get the ball close to midfield.
Sterling started their only drive of this game from their own 40, and it was 3 and out. Clark under center. One man in the backfield. They're going to give it to one of the other backs. A diving tackle attempt there by Schulz. Couldn't get the laces on it. They're saying the ball came out, but you can hear the official whistle saying the knee was down.
And Kevin, there's not a lot of misdirection. As we watch the play back here, it's pretty obvious where they're going, and to their credit, they're able to gain some yards with it.
Yeah, they really are. And on that one, that's one of the few you've seen Sterling have pretty good success. Really didn't get any yards. And I think it all had to do with the containment on a play that was going to the outside, kind of forced things back and squeezed things in, and were able to come in on the backside and make the play.
Gain of 1 on that last play, 2nd down and 9 from the 38. Clark going to set up under center with multiple backs in the backfield. Now one going to come in motion to his right. Clark looking to pass out in the flat. The rollout, puts it up in the air, has a man, and it is caught inside Sterling territory. Jameer Beasley on the coverage. Brought him down, but a big, big gain for the Panthers.
Well, you had 2 defenders right there. It looked like they lost control of the ball, and you had a Collingswood receiver who did a nice job going up and getting it. And, you know, a team that doesn't throw that much, you saw the rollout. And as you said, Tad, I don't think we're going to get too many straight dropbacks. Most of it's going to come from the rollout variety. That's a big play early on here for Collingswood.
As you mentioned, looked like we had 2 defenders right there to make the play. And, boy, the Collingswood player just went up and got it.
Credit to Andy Clark. Put it right on the numbers for the receiver on the far sideline. 1st and 10 from the Sterling 34, under 30 seconds remaining here in the first. High snap, that's trouble. Clark gonna just fall on it wisely. That's gonna be a huge loss on the play. They're almost back to midfield.
Something that you definitely don't want to see straight off, still in the first quarter.
Well, we've seen games where you get momentum, and Collingswood clearly has momentum in this game, momentum on the offensive end, but a big mistake can really play in the other team's hands, and it'll be interesting to see what happens after that play.
And that whistle signifies the end of the first quarter. No score here from Collingswood. We'll get off to a quick break, come back, right after this.
Wow, if there's anything Sterling needed, that was it right there, Kevin. They're kind of struggling, and they're wearing their defense out. That's a huge break.
Yeah, and this is a good running offense. You know, they were talking about the one back that they have is probably one of the better backs in the conference. And, you know, it's really showing with the way they're playing. It's just 3 yards and a cloud of dust.
And again, usually in high school or college, you're seeing a lot of misdirections like our team runs. They're just going right at the holes and able to get some good yardage out of it. You see the Collingswood cheerleaders over there. Kind of the way they've done this, if you have your Sterling bleachers are on what we would used to call the visiting side away. And then here's your Collingswood fans right there.
I want to give a quick shout out to Kim Bailey, one of our faithful viewers, chiming in on YouTube as well as on Twitter, giving us a big hello from her living room, watching us from the comfy confines of the living room. Probably a lot warmer than it is here.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
No score after 1 quarter of play back here live at Collingswood. The winner of this game, more likely than not, will be in. The loser, more likely out of the playoff picture. Sterling 4-4. Collingswood 5-3.
And if they had the playoffs today, we would be the 7th seed, was it, Kevin? And go play Camden.
Going against Camden, yep.
But that will all change after tonight.
So both teams will switch ends, and now Collingswood going to come right into your living room here. Ball placed at the 31.
I was supposed to say that.
Second down, carry right up the middle. Collingswood trying to gain back some of that yardage they lost on the high snap on the previous play right before the end of the quarter ended.
How about Schulze there shooting a gap? He made the initial contact. And this is a play you got to stop. I mean, this is third and the ride home, basically. I'll give you a shot of the chains here, guys. There's where the ball is. They have to come all the way down. What are we talking about? 30 yards here they need. And,
guys, this is where good teams, when other teams make a mistake, as Collingswood did with the boggle snap, good teams take advantage of that. And, Tad, you mentioned that. This is a huge play right here in 3rd and long.
That totally negates that big pass play that we had earlier. Another drop snap, and Clark falls on it. Does Sterling have it? Nope. Collingswood 2 missed.
Wow.
Well, a little messed up plays there from them.
Well,
miscues are going to technically cost them. You guys, Schulze, you said this in the beginning. It's who's going to capitalize on the mistakes?
Well, I think, you know, everything, you know, we're seeing, everything we've been told. You look at the records, look at the comparable scores, coaches talking to each other, looking at the tapes. These are 2 evenly matched teams, and mistakes, I really feel like, are going to be the difference.
And 2 of the most basic mistakes you can make, from the center to the quarterback.
Wilsey and Beasley back deep to receive the punt, standing at about their own 25-yard line. We'll see if they keep it away from Beasley, see if they've seen the tape. They do. And they kick it right to Wilsey. Line drive, and he is going to go down immediately. Beautiful special teams coverage by the Panthers. Wraps up Wilsey pretty much where he caught it. And it will be 1st and 10 for Sterling at about the 30.
You got to feel like Sterling weathered the storm of the initial first drive of Collingswood. They go pretty much not much on offense, and then a couple breakdowns for Collingswood. Now Sterling has a chance to take this game over.
Yeah, it did what they had to do on the defensive side, but I think it's important now. You got to go have the ball back in your hands. You've got to establish something offensively, get into a rhythm.
Harmer on the carry, trying to get the edge. He cannot. Sterling started that drive 1st and 10 at their own 38. Harmer only able to pick up a couple there. Good pursuit by the Collingswood defense. Harmer picks up about 3.
This Collingswood defense is pretty good, Kevin. They're moving quick to the ball.
Moving quick to the ball. They're doing a good job up front on the defensive line, leaving the lanes behind them for the linebackers to get out there and make plays. So, you know, if you're going to earn yardage, whether it's tackle to tackle or to the outside, you're going to get yardage. You're going to have to earn it.
Wilsey under center. Hands it off to Robertson. His first carry. Tripped up. Penalty flag comes flying in from the backfield. Take a look at that. First penalty of the game.
And if you start thinking about it, I know it's still 0-0, but if you think defensively, that's actually really good for the defense, giving pretty much a good understanding from their offensive sides.
And the breakdown there, that's the first mistake we've seen from Sterling in this one.
First time we've seen any dirty laundry on the field tonight. It's going to go against Sterling. 9:41 remaining here in a scoreless half. The clock will continue to run. Sterling looking at about a 2nd down and 13.
Kevin, this is going to come down to Wilsey's going to have to make a big play or two, a wide receiver
tonight.
It's
a matter of him getting around the outside and having time.
Wilsey floats one across the middle, well over the head of Matchett, tries to make a right-handed stab, and he cannot. Wilsey just floated it just a little over his head.
Yeah, looking for a big play on that seam, and was covered decently. You had looked like the cornerback had him in one-on-one coverage, and the safety came over for help. So, you know, with that penalty, we talk about mistakes. That penalty, if Sterling's not able to get anything here, is going to give Collingswood, after a punt, the ball with pretty good field position, real good field position.
3rd and 14 from their own 34. Wilsey drops back to pass, looking to his left, and it is incomplete. Covered nicely on the play by Collingswood, looking for Matchett on the left-hand side, and it's going to be a punt situation here for Sterling yet again. Another 3 and out.
Yeah, and 2 successive times you said you're going to match it. Decent coverage by Collingswood in the defensive backfield. So, you know, with the mistake that they had, Sterling had a chance to capitalize and take advantage of it, but again, was not able to do anything in the 2nd straight offensive series.
Harmer stands at his own 20-yard line to receive the snap. Low snap, and Collingswood almost gets on it. No flag. Harmer went down, and Collingswood will back away from it. Takes a Sterling roll inside the Collingswood defensive end, and they're fortunate that they did not get a flag. We'll take a quick break. 9 minutes remaining here in a scoreless half. This is going to be who blinks first, Kevin.
What a big play there by Nick Harmer just to get that one off, getting it on a short hop. And I always say that's why you feel good about having your punter be a guy who runs the ball, who's used to having the ball in his hands, because when things break down, they're just more likely to be able to make something happen.
1st and 10 for Collingswood from their own 35-yard line. Both of these teams still looking for their first score. One of the faster moving halves that I think we've seen in a long time. That's like the kiss of death.
Yep.
1st and 10 from the 35. Collingswood runs again up the middle, trying to find some room. We'll see where they march it off.
I think Sterling's now kind of getting used to like what plays that Collingswood's running are. As you've seen right there, they just stuffed the open hole right there.
Yeah, they're doing a good job on the runs up the middle. You know, we've seen that probably in the last 3 running plays. Of course, you know, the ones they had in that previous series, they were trying to get just a few yards. They pretty much conceded they were going to punt, but it'll be interesting to see if they don't start to kind of stretch it out a little bit, go to the outside.
Rob, I still say the difference in this game is Sterling does have the ability to throw, even though the 2 passes were not where they wanted. If Sterling's going to win, it's going to be with the passing game. There's no doubt.
Short gain on the play of just 1, 2nd down and 9. Just about 8 minutes remaining here in the half. Running play off the left-hand side of the line, and a pretty sizable gain. That's going to be a 1st down for Collingswood. And he needed 9, got about 12.
Yeah, and we said they were going up the middle, didn't have a whole lot of success on the last 2 runs, but there kind of stretched it out a little bit, went to that tackle end gap, and were able to get a big gain and continue to stretch the chains.
And Rob, this is a very cool view for Mr. Schulz here, because we get to look and see exactly what his son is looking at. We're playing over his shoulder right now.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. Going right side, off tackle a little bit. Short gain there, tackled on the play by Schulz. Jason Schulz.
There you go.
Not Eric.
It's kind of cool, though. It gives you a sense as you're watching this game at home of what it's like to be what a deep safety would be. Watch the flow of the game, and you can see how effective a good, you know, mixing the ball around can be. I mean, Collingswood doesn't really do that, and they're just power running straight up the tackles.
They've probably averaged, I'm going to say, 4, 5 yards a carry. Really, it's a consistently effective ground game.
1 receiver set to the far side. They're going to run it again. This is a huge gain by Collingswood. Pushed out of bounds by Wilsey. The biggest gain on the ground anyway for the Panthers. Tackled on the play
That was a great run, man. That's almost like that jet sweep kind of thing down there,
well,
man.
I'm sorry, Tad.
Go ahead.
And we were saying they tried to stretch it out in the previous play to the tackle. There, they really tried to stretch it out and got around that edge in a hurry.
1st and 10 from the Sterling 30, under 7 minutes remaining here in the half.
Definitely a Sterling. If Sterling gets at least 3rd down, you'd think maybe. Oh, 4th down?
No. Rob and I do hand signals to help each other with who's running. That was number 4 that was running.
Jaquan
Sorry about
Page
that, John.
on the carry.
We want to welcome John to our broadcast. John is a freshman student here at Sterling, and he's done a great job of helping us out. So you're going to hear John's voice from time to time.
And you know what? Credit to John. We've been doing this a long time. We've been trying to get students on here, and I don't think we've ever had a freshman show up in successive broadcasts. So.
You're doing great. Keep it up.
Gain of 7 on that last play. 2nd down and 3. Collingswood on the move, the deepest they've been in Sterling territory. And they're trying to pick up the 1st down here. I believe that's Page again on the carry.
Only needed a couple, and I think he got it.
Yep, he did.
Moving the chains.
Shane L. on the tackle.
Well, what was when they went to that wide sweep or the jet sweep, what that does is it stops them trying Sterling blitzing into the tackles. They must see him blitz, and say, all right, we're going to run it out wide and take it from there.
Yeah, it basically keeps you honest. And, this is a very impressive ground attack. I mean, we talked about the time of possession right now is heavily in Collingswood's favor.
Davis under center, hands it off right up the middle. Sterling swallows that up, and really great job clogging up the middle. Nick Lewis, among others in there, just really gave them nowhere to run.
Yeah, good job by Lewis on the stop right there, holding up his man and coming in to make a play.
Can really hear some noise now as they're getting down by us. This is pretty cool. Chuck in the truck did a good job with the sound guy out there.
This is what we were hoping for, all the action coming towards us, because if it gets out of that far end of the field, we're pretty much guessing.
This is good. We made the request for both coaches. Can you run your plays towards us? They said no problem.
Short gain on the play brings up 2nd down and 9. Hand off to the right side, our left. Jaquan, I believe that's Jaquan Page on the carry.
Well, this broadcast for us is almost like that softball championship at West Deptford. We were in center field. Everything was opposite. And I like, again, it's giving us a different perspective of what's going on. You can really see this power running game at Collingswood.
Yeah, it's definitely probably the best running game I think that we've seen. You know, you've had other teams that, especially when in a lot of cases you kind of know what's coming. Tad, you talked about them not really having a ton of misdirection.
Nope.
Big 3rd down and 4, ball at the 13-yard line. Trying to go near side. Great tackle there. Harmer and Schulz in on the tackle. I don't think it's a 1st down. It will be a 4th down and short. An interesting call here. 4th and 1 on the way. And I think the way they've been running the ball, this is...
Yeah, you're going to see them go for this. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just had the quarterback try and plunge ahead. Sterling looking for a big play, and there'd no bigger play than if they were able to make the stop right here. And it looked like defensively they were trying to mix things up with the linebackers kind of crossing, going in different holes.
Andy Clark, I think they're going to call a timeout here. Andy Clark, not a big quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, listed at 5'10", 145, and they will take a timeout. We'll take one as well. 3:24 remaining. Collingswood on the move, but still scoreless here at the half.
And if you had a kicker, this is probably a situation where you say either we go kicking or they're going to go through. But like you said, Kevin, the way Collingswood is running the ball tonight, their power running game is impressive.
Power running game is impressive. It's impressive what they're doing up front. And, I mean, time of possession. The time of possession that favors them. This has probably been the most, I think, in a while, in like say the last 5 years, we've seen a team be in control of the time of possession.
I mean, how many plays has Sterling run offensively? 6?
It hasn't been
many.
You
had 2 series and you punted, so yeah, you just had the 6.
Personally, if I was the coach, I would think I would just kick it, because if you look up on the scoreboard, you only got like 3 minutes.
Well, the problem is we don't know if they have a kicker, so that's part of the equation here with high school.
after the Collingswood timeout. 3:24 remaining, 4th and 1. Collingswood appears that they are going to go for it here as they trot the offense back out onto the field. The way they've been running the ball tonight, Kevin, I wouldn't be surprised if they get this one here, but you never know.
Yeah, and a chance for Sterling to make a big play in it. First half that's been dominated by Collingswood, even if not on the scoreboard yet.
Clark under center is going to hand it off, and I don't think he got it. It's going to depend on the spot. Matchett says no. Beasley says no. And they are saying Sterling football.
Wow. What a play. You know, if there was ever a jolt that this team needed, it was on that play, and they were able to do that. And that's something where you have to hope the momentum transfers over to the offensive end.
Are you shocked by that play call there, Ted?
No, I mean, they're power running games, so they went power run right up the middle.
I agree with you. With the way they've been dominating things, and give Sterling credit, in a tough first half defensively, came up and made the biggest defensive play of the half.
And what the coaches will do for Collingswood, they'll say, all right, if we get that situation again, we're going misdirection or jet sweep out.
Wilsey, toss to Robertson to the far side. Collingswood defense all over it. Robertson maybe gets a couple, but great pursuit and great speed by that defense.
Yeah, really have good speed going to the outside. And Tad, you talked about the Sterling's passing game, and I know they've tried to go to match it on the right side down the field, out to that left corner. The play I like is that slant to Jameer Beasley, and don't think that they're not going to try to go to that at some point in this game.
Robertson gains 2. Official timeout. They're going to talk about something here. Not sure what they're going to be talking about as you hear the Collingswood band starting to warm up behind us.
All right, they're going to reset the clock, I believe, here, Rob.
Yeah, looks like the head official going to run over to one of the scissor lifts that they have here and tell the clock operator that how much time to put back on the clock. They're going to put 3 minutes on the clock. Sterling, all 3 timeouts in their pocket. Gain of 2 off of Robertson's last run. 2nd down and 8 on the way for Wilsey and the Sterling Silver Knights. Put Harmer in motion, and a great gain right up the middle by Jacob Johnson, and a first down for Sterling. Their first down of the game comes with 2:50 remaining in the half.
And I like that play. You know, they've tried in the last few plays rollouts. You saw them try to go to the outside right there. That Jacob Johnson play is nice because I always talk about it. It gets them to the line of scrimmage quickly. You don't hold your blocks long. And I think that's just what they needed right there in that situation.
Known as their short yardage back, picks up a first down for Sterling. Wilsey looking to pass off to his left, little screen set up, and Collingswood all over it. Getting out of bounds on the completion was Demir Robertson, gain of about 5.
A lot of traffic on that throw. We could see that from here. That was not an easy one.
Well, a good job of Rob Wilsey going out in traffic, you mentioned it, Tad, and getting the ball to Demir Robertson. And that's what we talked about. You know, it's great having him on the defensive end, obviously, but also he's going to help out a lot on the offensive side of the ball, and you saw it right there.
2:23 remaining, 2nd down and 6, ball at the 27. They put Harmer in motion. They give it to Johnson again. A nice gain by Jacob Johnson. He's going to hustle up here. And Jacob Johnson, picks up the first down. Sterling on the move.
Guys, I think you're seeing right now how football is such a game of emotion. And look at the offense feeding off the big play from the defense in a game where Sterling clearly has struggled. And they've struggled on the offensive end, now reeling off a couple of first downs on the ground.
2 minutes left. Pitch to Harmer coming to the right side. Absolutely swallowed up. Tried to make the turn to go upfield, and 2 Panthers were all over him.
Well, you had a couple big runs up the middle. Try the outside with your strong running back. I am really impressed with what Johnson has done. I mean, I don't believe he's one of the starters in the backfield at the beginning of the season, but, man, he has come on.
Yeah, no question about it.
2nd down and 7, 90 seconds and counting remaining here in the half. Wilsey in trouble. Eludes a couple would-be tacklers. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to go up the far sideline, get pushed out of bounds, and picks up the first down, stops the clock momentarily. 1:19 showing on the clock.
And there's the advantage of having that running quarterback. You know, you're rolling out to the outside, maybe not at full speed, saw the defender coming in, was on his heels, took it to another gear, and then got going around the edge and picks up another first down. Very impressed with the way Sterling is moving the chains in a lot of different ways right now.
And I think what a good quarterback does is someone that still trying to look for that pass, but still making the defense guess if he's going to run.
Johnson on the carry loses the ball, but it goes out of bounds. Fortunately for Sterling, Johnson just lost the handle, took a huge hop, and they're lucky that that wasn't on the other side of the field.
Yeah, they were lucky too in the fact that it was fumbled directly to our number 13, who picked it up and ran with it on the bounce in the air.
Demir Robertson.
3 big plays so far: a tackle, a catch, and that fumble recovery.
And John, you brought up a very good point. We talked about how Rob Wilsey rolls out a lot. That's one of his most effective plays. Keeping the thought of pass, 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 holding the defenders, not allowing them to come up, and don't think that that's going to be a big part of what's going to happen as we move on in this game.
Gain of 5, 2nd down and 5. Wilsey in trouble. He's going to get eaten up in the backfield, and he goes down. Loss on the play. Harris calls timeout. And he's already basically at midfield. Somebody missed an assignment there.
That's one of those, if you're Wilsey, he goes 1-2, bam, brick wall. He had nowhere to go. They were trying to play fake, I believe, there too.
Yeah, and a lot of good quarterbacks who can roll out. Once they get into that rollout, they're tough to stop. But if you get to them when they're a couple steps into it, like Collingswood was able to do on that play defensively, it's really tough for them to do anything.
So we have 1:08 remaining here in this first half. We have no score between Sterling and Collingswood. Collingswood has controlled the ball possession in this game, but Collingswood not able to make it on 4th down. Now Sterling moving down the field with a chance to score here late in this first half.
You have to think that would be a big momentum shift for Sterling, because I don't want to say they've been outplayed, Tad, but they've definitely the offense has not been on the field to make a play.
Now they got to get it together, and right now they can erase everything in the first half.
68 seconds remaining in the half. Sterling on the move. 3rd down and 10 on the way from the Collingswood 43. Sterling 2 timeouts left in their pocket, so they can really dive into the playbook here a little bit. Wilsey under center. Robertson in motion. Wilsey looking to pass to Robertson. Has it complete. Did he get a foot down? And they're saying incomplete.
Yeah, he took a hit on that one. Boy, was stretched out a little bit, and the Collingswood defender got over there in a hurry.
Well, I think step one was Wilsey was able to get out and release and look down the field. That was the first part of it.
So now you have 4th and 10 for Sterling. Ball at the 43-yard line. Sterling going to go for it here.
Why not?
Collingswood has 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah.
Sterling has 2. Wilsey under center, looking to pass. Out to his left, looking again. He's going to keep it himself, and it's going to depend on the spot, and he's pushed out of bounds. Does he get the first down?
Wow, you're looking at a Sterling sideline that's pretty spirited. Wow. Obviously, it's almost impossible for us to tell here, to even guess.
Official timeout for a measurement.
It's got to be close if they're calling for a measurement. Oh.
It's right in front of the chains, too.
49.3 seconds showing on the clock. The clock will stop if it is a first down, and because Wilsey was pushed out of bounds anyway. So Sterling does not have to burn a timeout.
It's a good second effort by Wilsey as here comes the measurement.
We've seen a couple of those out of Wilsey. The Seal games, we saw that in the Willingboro game.
And they're...
Didn't make it.
Did not make it.
So close.
So Collingswood now an opportunity with 49 seconds. No pass game to speak of so far. Only 1 pass completion, but I wouldn't put it past them to put it in the air. You're going to have to put it in the air.
Kevin, if it's me, they're such a running attack team. I'd still be running it here. If you got to go 0-0 at the half, I wouldn't be taking any chances.
I agree.
I don't think they've even passed 20 times this season.
Yeah, run the ball, and hey, if you come up with a big one, you get close, then you're going to change what your mindset is at that point.
Andrew Clark, 16 of 31 for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and that's it. They are going to keep it on the ground here on 1st and 10. And no timeout signal yet from Coach McCown, and now they take one. 37 seconds remaining. Collingswood, 1 timeout left. On a nice pickup, it's going to bring a 2nd down and 1.
I mean, this is one you're just trying to contain and keep them in front at this point. They haven't shown the ability to go deep down the field. They have the 1 pass play, but keep them in front. You would think they don't have a field goal kicker either because they didn't go on 4th down here. So it's just a matter of you just have to stay back. Maybe don't be over-aggressive on the line. Just keep them in front.
Yeah, and if there is any pass play, which like you said, they don't throw a lot, don't let them get to the outside. Leave those middle routes open, and just get out of this first half. And, you know, you do stop and you do avoid them coming up with some type of big play. Sterling's got to feel a little bit better than they did a few minutes ago. You had Collingswood driving and potentially scoring. They stopped them, but I think just as important, you have to like what Sterling was able to do on the offensive side of the ball.
After the Collingswood timeout, 2nd down and 1, 37 seconds remaining. Ball at the 42-yard line. Clark under center puts a man in motion. They're going to keep it on the ground again, and the Collingswood power rush going to pick up the 1st down. And they're trying to get some more yards. They do. And it will stop the clock with 24.5 seconds remaining. And Collingswood will hurry up to the line, try and conserve that timeout. And this is they set the chains, they're going to start the clock.
This is where I wouldn't be surprised if they went to the rollout and put the ball in the air.
Ball at midfield and a penalty marker. Clock stops at 18.6 remaining.
Second penalty of the night.
As you can hear, the band warming up about 20 feet to our left.
I think we're cramping their style a little bit.
I think we are.
They threw a penalty marker, and they have not marched off the yardage yet. It's going to go against Collingswood because they are marching now backwards. That took a little bit longer than expected. So it'll be 1st and 15 from their own 45.
Definitely going to be tough to see what penalties they're trying to make out from there.
I think the clock starts now.
Clark spikes it. 13 seconds showing on the clock.
They bring up 2nd down and 15.
Well, you could, you know, if I'm still Collingswood, I'm just running it. I'm not taking a chance.
You don't at this point with the way this game's gone, you don't want to run the chance of something disastrous.
And you know what? I think if you're on the other side of the 50, maybe you take a shot. I think this far back. Well, I mean, they're at the 45. They're not that far back.
Oh, shotgun.
It seems like they're far back.
Yeah, so
shotgun.
Stranger things have happened.
Clark from the shotgun. They're going to hand it off, trying to catch Sterling off guard with the 2 receivers, and they do not. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that will do it for the half. Sterling and Collingswood all tied up at the half, guys, and this has been a ball control game from the jump.
It's been a lot of Collingswood early on. Sterling showed their life. Kevin mentioned in the opening, could be who makes that big mistake first. We'll see what happens as we get ready for halftime.
So what we'll do is we'll get off to a quick break, come back with second half action live from Collingswood. You're watching live coverage of Sterling football right here on Channel 19 Sterling High School Radio. No score at the half. We're back right after this.
2018 Collingswood Panther Marching Band.
score here from Collingswood High School at the half. I think one of the most, I don't think we've had a scoreless half here in quite some time on a dry evening so far. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, Tad Kozaneski, John Hallwood bringing you all the action. Teams are just about getting set to come back on the field. Sterling was out a heck of a lot earlier than
ready.
Collingswood. Collingswood about 5 minutes late getting out here. Just about 45 seconds left on the clock. But, guys, it's been a field possession game and more of a offensive possession game for Collingswood.
Yeah, for the most part, Collingswood controlled the time of possession, but a couple encouraging things from Sterling. First of all, coming up with a big fourth down stop, it looked like Collingswood was just reeling off first downs, which they were at will. And then the other encouraging thing was Sterling. Guys, even though they got stopped, they were able to establish some type of a ball control offense of their own, getting the ball out the midfield, moving the chains, getting the first downs that they hadn't been able to do to that point in this game.
Give us a quick weather update, Radar Man.
Weather update. Right now, we are in the clear. There's some showers in the Millville area, but the bulk of the precipitation, southern Maryland and extreme parts of southern Delaware, are getting absolutely murdered right now with some rain.
Can we keep it there, please?
Second half action back here from Collingswood. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, Tad Kozaneski, John Hallwood, and a scoreless first half. Both of these teams looking to break the ice and break into the playoff picture. The winner, in all likelihood, will get into the eight-team playoff picture. The loser will be on the outside looking in.
But still with some help. It's not completely a lost effort. They have a shot. The winner is in. There's no doubt. We've already talked to some people. The winner is in. The loser needs help. And the way this one's going, it might be whoever scores first.
It's looking that way, no question about it. And a good thing for Sterling getting the ball here to start the second half.
Usually you don't see a lot of scoreless halves when the weather is dry.
See the crowd up in the far end zone. They all jump on the hill for the opening kickoff and make some noise. That's pretty cool.
Back deep to receive Jameer Beasley.
Not much of a real impact in this game as like in other games that he usually is.
Well, nobody's really been able to make really any impact for Sterling offensively. Willsey had a couple nice runs. Other than that, we are set to go. Collingswood on to kick off and going to go to the near side. Ball is live. Does Collingswood have it? They say they do. And there's the first big break. Collingswood falls on it inside Sterling territory.
But as I saw there was a flag on the field, I believe. So this could actually, I saw something fly, unless if it was probably like a yellow beanie.
It might have been, yeah, it might have been the spotting beanie. Boy, that's a big break, and we talked about breaks being the difference in this game. We talked about it being a field position game, and yeah, that's a big break to start the second half off for Collingswood, and they went for it, took a chance.
Collingswood gets the ball 1st and 10 at the Sterling 42.
And how many times have we seen that with not wanting to kick off to Sterling and something like that happens?
Clark under center on 1st and 10. First play from scrimmage here in a scoreless second half. Rollout. Pass is incomplete. Matchett sticks his left arm in there to break it up, second down.
Real good coverage by Matchett on the outside. Looked like they went with a blitz up the middle to put pressure on a quarterback and not allow him to get around that edge. Like we say, always having the option to run or throw.
I really like that call, though, by Collingswood. First time they come right out with the pass, and again, to Matchett's credit, he was there on the coverage, but I think good call offensively by Collingswood.
Second down and 10, ball at the 42-yard line. They'll line up, same formation, and penalty markers thrown as a short carry. Flags all over the place on this one. This one is probably going to go against Collingswood.
Yeah, and that's that blitz look, and they followed through with it. But guys, how many times this year have we seen Sterling come up, your linebackers come up, and it forces the offensive lineman into a false start? We see it again. So, boy, it's amazing, that little thing, how much that's helped Sterling. I know in the Haddon Heights game, I believe in the Willingboro game, and now right here.
Yeah, the Willingboro game, it was comical. Every time Sterling put two guys on the line, every time they jumped.
After the penalty, second down and 15, ball now at the 48-yard line of Sterling. They're going to run to the far side.
Oh.
And bouncing off one tackle, but not two. Good pursuit. Jenkins goes down after a short gain. All right, check that. That's going to be a loss on the play of about 3 yards. The only vantage point, guys, that we have is watching the guy with the down marker go back and forth.
We saw Sterling have real good containment first on that rollout, not allowing the quarterback to get around the edge, and then right there, real nice job off to that Collingswood right side, forcing things back and allowing your teammates to get over there to make the tackle.
Matchett had a real nice hit that stopped him at first. He didn't quite wrap up, but that caused a problem for Collingswood.
3rd and 19, ball backed up inside Collingswood territory at the 48. Clark back to pass, floats one into the flat, it has it complete. He's got a little room coming to the near side, picks up most of the yardage back that they lost on the penalty, but it will be 4th down. We'll see where they spot it. You're looking at about a 4th and 12 on the way for the Panthers.
And a real good job by Sterling. You know, that goes against anything we've seen so far when you've got the double wide out set right there. Collingswood playing it safe, wanting to just get a nice short screen pass into its playmaker's hands. And a 4th down play right here. Another necessary stop for Sterling, no question about it.
Collingswood's going to punt Beasley and Wilsey back deep to receive, standing at about their own 20. On 4th and 12, punt goes well out of bounds. That's going to be, that's not a great punt by any stretch of the imagination. That's only a net of about maybe 15 yards.
But Kevin, it shows respect for the Sterling team. They do not want to kick off deep to Sterling at all.
Yeah, no question about it. And you know, we talked about breaks being and mistakes being a difference in this game. And I think the other thing is, if you have a mistake or a break not go your way, how you handled it. And Sterling defensively just did an outstanding job on that series of downs.
1st and 10 for Sterling from their own 25-yard line, set up on the right hash. Wilsey hands it off to Robertson. Robertson scoots it back inside. Nice gain by Robertson, and it's a name that we haven't called in the last 4 or 5 weeks due to the injury, but he's already making his presence known.
And what Demir Robertson does, along with Nick Harmer, you got another guy who can go to the outside, read the blocks in front of him, and guys, he's another guy who really gives the hit as much as he takes it when a defender comes up. He'll lower his shoulder and get a couple extra yards.
2nd down and 4. 9 1/4 minutes remaining. Jacob Johnson on the carry, picks up the 1st down.
You can
Gains about 6.
You can really see that Johnson is not a tall guy. He takes some punishment, but if they give him a little bit of a crease, he can find the hole.
And it's so good to see that offense that rolling right now in a rhythm where you have the play to the outside, whether it's to Harmer or Demir Robertson. You mix that up with the quick hitter, the dive to Jacob Johnson up the middle.
1st and 10 from the 37. Johnson again on the carry, and this time Collingswood has the answer. Short gain, if any, on the play by Johnson.
Well, the best way to stop that play is to gain penetration in the backfield, and one way to do that is to shoot the gap, and I think that's what they did defensively up front. You had a defensive lineman shoot the gap, and shot the right one. We're able to get to Jacob Johnson before he's able to get upfield.
Sooner or later, there's going to be a pass play coming up here.
2nd down and 10, maybe this is it. Ball at the 37. Wilsey under center with Johnson in the backfield. They're going to put Robertson in motion. Wilsey, here comes a pass play, completes it out in the flat to Robertson, and he's pushed out of bounds. He's close to a 1st down. We'll see where they march it off. Looks like he might be a couple yards short.
Yep, 3rd down. Definitely looks.
3rd and 2 on the way.
But a nice safe pass play. Roll him out to his left. Give Wilsey the read. Kevin, the pass is there. He throws it. If not, he keeps it.
And you can see they're shading over to where Jameer Beasley is. You have one defender to the inside. You have the corner on the outside. So that's leaving an extra spot and advantage of Sterling off to that left side.
Wilsey going to keep it himself on 3rd and short. And we'll see where they're. The officials are stopping the clock, which usually indicates that they are going to give him the 1st down. And he does have it. The wind now starting to pick up. You can kind of hear that in our microphones. And there is definitely rain on the way. We are hoping to get through this.
Yeah.
Well, we're lucky.
The next hour and a half.
You got Collingswood who runs the ball, and Sterling, for the most part, is doing the same. So we got a shot, unless nobody scores.
Oh, please, someone score then.
Harmer, a rare carry for Nick Harmer off the right-hand side, and it's been mostly Jacob Johnson tonight, and we're used to calling Nick Harmer's name so much more often.
Yeah, you usually see Nick Harmer come from that wing-back spot, but now you're mixing things up with Demir Robertson. But again, you can see them definitely shading over to Jameer Beasley's side, they're not leaving that slant or even the play on the outside.
Little reverse to Robertson, and he is going to be spun down in the backfield. Ball came out, and they're going to say that he was down. That's a loss on the play. Demir Robertson tried to gain the edge on the left side and could not.
Initially, it looked like you might head up for a horse collar tackle, but they let up. And just as they let up to spin him, that's when that ball came out.
Well, we've seen Sterling use the blitz to gain penetration when they were having trouble stopping the running game of Collingswood. There you see Collingswood do it and really got some good upfield penetration to the outside. You know, Demir Robertson's a kid with a lot of speed and get to the outside. You match that with speed and you couple it with the blitz getting out there in a hurry. 3rd and 10
for Sterling. Wilsey going out to his right to pass, has it complete to Nick Harmer, spun around and out of bounds inside right in front of the Collingswood bench. We'll see where they mark it.
Looks like a first down.
They are going to say first down. So they needed 10, and they got more than that.
And that's that play where you've got the advantage of the wide side of the field, but you've got Rob Wilsey rolling that way, and it's a tough play because you're running out. You got to reset your body for that split second to get rid of the ball. But boy, he threw a strike to Jared Matchett.
I like that play though because it gives him the option to throw first, then run if he has to.
5:40 remaining here in the 3rd. Still no score. Robertson on the sweep to the left, and he goes nowhere. Collingswood defense, they are speedy. We've been saying that since the onset of the broadcast, Kevin.
And when you see a play like that, you put yourself in position where they're going to start jumping on that play a little bit, and you have to think Sterling at some point might even try some type of a counter, especially when they're trying to get out there and jump the play and get out there an extra split second.
No gain on the play, 5:10 and counting remaining here in the 3rd. Ball at the 41 of the Panthers. Sterling on the move. They're going to give it to Johnson. Johnson tries to go up the middle and gets a minimal gain there. Maybe a couple. That's going to be 3rd down and long. We'll see where they mark it off, and it's a gain of about a yard at best.
But I think the good thing is field position is shifting. This game is almost coming down to field position. And my next thing is who can make the big play. And so far, I think Sterling is the team that has that potential. I think, can you protect Wilsey and can you get somebody down the field?
And get the ball into Jameer Beasley's hands. Find a way to get it into his hands.
4:30 left here in the 3rd. Wilsey back to pass, drops straight back, going to the left side, has a man, and it is caught. Caught her on the far side to Jameer Beasley, just went up and got it. And Sterling is in the red zone for the first time tonight.
You saw it, Rob. Went up and won the battle for the ball because we had talked about it prior to that play. You got to find a way to get it to Jameer Beasley. He's been covered tight the entire day. I mean, you got an outside corner. You also have the safety shaded over there. Big play for Jameer Beasley and Sterling.
1st and 10 from the 10, or from the 12 rather. Handoff. Still on his feet. Far side, they're going to say short of the goal line. Ball came out into the end zone, and now they're saying Collingswood football.
And if there was one thing that you would unfortunately have to say about Harmer, that's been his problem this year.
Harmer coughs up the football as he approaches the goal line, and Collingswood recovers in the end zone, touchback. Are you kidding me?
That's a shame.
That's one of those plays. A lot of times you're going for that extra yard. You have that additional defender come in. Once you got 2 guys on you, that 3rd guy, he's going to come in for the ball. And boy, what a break for Collingswood here and a tough one for Sterling.
We lost sight of it. We might as well be broadcasting this one blind unless it's a pass play into the flat. We can't see it. 3:55 left on the 3rd quarter clock. Still no score. Sterling turns the ball over to Collingswood in the end zone.
Maybe start thinking that Collingswood's momentum might go back to the offense also.
Page on the carry off the left side, short gain.
That is such a backbreaker, though. I mean, it looks like Sterling's going in for the score and just not able to get it. In fact, you fumble it even into the end zone. It's not even inside the 5. It comes down to the 20.
Yeah, and especially when you do it on the heels of big play to Jameer Beasley, something, Tad, you talked about we have the potential to do. We finally did it. You're grabbing the momentum, have Collingswood basically on their heels, and boy, that is a tough one.
Gain of 4 by Page brings up 2nd down and 6 from the 24. They're going to run it off the right side, and some room on that right side, pushed into the Sterling bench. Jenkins on the carry, picks up the 1st down, and he got about 15 yards. Nice run by Jenkins.
Well, they've had trouble. If there's one area where they have had trouble offensively on recent downs, it's been moving the ball from tackle to tackle. And, you know, their last success was going to the outside. They go back to it and get a big 1st down.
And you can even see it here as I'm doing camera in the end zone. It's hard for us to follow on that play, and it's hard for the defenders to follow as well.
1st and 10 from the 32, 3:10 left to go in the 3rd. Put a man in motion coming to the left-hand side of the line. They're going to hand it off right up the middle, a little power run there for a very, very short gain. Jaquan Page on the carry for the Panthers.
There's a neat little shot, guys. You can see it. There's a hill in the end zone out by the creek, and all the students are standing. Well, quite a few students are standing on that creek, making
really
it so
cool.
neat. I don't know if it's a tradition or what they do. They're pretty neat. You can see them following there. Well, here's a chance the defense has got to pick up Harmer here.
Yeah, big 2nd down play right there. The difference between maybe getting a 3rd and short or a 3rd and long. I don't know that if Collingswood gets into a 4th and more than 5, they're going to go for it here. You know, they did in the 1st half.
2nd down and 8, ball at the 35-yard line. And a Page again on the carry right up the middle. Seems like Jaquan Page is their power back to get that short yardage, make it a little 3rd and manageable. It's going to be 3rd, and we're going to call it about 2.
And that's a big play. You know, that's what Collingswood needed to do. That's where they had their success in that 1st quarter, constantly getting 3rd and manageable possessions and you know, translating them into moving the chains and getting the 1st downs.
And they were able to get the ball up to their own 40-yard line on this play.
Big defensive stand here for Sterling to kind of bail out Nick Harmer. 3rd down and 2. They go with the run again off the left side. Ball came out. Sterling's saying they have it now, and they're saying that the runner was down, Page was down. Sterling defense doesn't like it. We'll see where they spot the ball. It's going to be a 4th down and 1.
And again, the ball's sitting around the 40-yard line, so this is not a gimme. If your defense can make a play here, it looks like they're going too.
This is a gutsy call, especially with the way Sterling was able to move the ball down the field in the previous possession. So the defense, again, is called on and has to come up with a big play here.
4th and 2, ball at the 41-yard line, just about a minute remaining in the 3rd. Collingswood going for it, and looks like they may have gotten the 1st down. We'll take a look at the spot. Jared Matchett saying they don't have it.
It's not a gimme.
And they're going to stop the clock with 52 seconds. Nope, 51. They're going to measure it.
Boy.
Wow.
What a big measurement this is.
And we have no vantage point whatsoever.
All we can do now is just zoom in on the ball, and you'll see what we see.
Yeah, no point in guessing.
It's impossible.
I mean, we can guess, but it's coin flip.
Doesn't matter.
It would be a guess into the wind.
You're going to tell by the reaction.
Sterling's sideline reacted like they stopped them.
Yeah. The ball is sitting.
You saw more positive reactions from Sterling. I'll agree with that.
I think they're short.
Yeah, looking at
Sterling football.
Wow, what a play. What a job.
Now you have to score. You got to make them pay. You coughed it up inside the 5, came out the 20. You got to score now.
And guys, give credit to the defense for the struggles they had in the 1st quarter and a little bit into the 2nd quarter. You had the 4th down stop here to end, you know, right before the end of the half, and a couple of big stops here in the 2nd half.
51 seconds left to go here in the 3rd, still scoreless. Sterling takes the ball over on downs at the 42-yard line of the Panthers. Handoff goes to Harmer. Harmer Moves the pile forward. Nice run by Nick Harmer. 2 hands on the ball this time. Did Nick Harmer, picked up about 6.
Man, this third half has definitely been going by fast. But in this third half, you had pretty much a turnover by Sterling, and then a big 4th down for Sterling defense.
Yeah, big defensive play. Something, like I said, as this game's worn on, they made the defensive stops they had to, and they're moving the ball on offense, something they didn't do in the first quarter at all.
Harmer picked up 8, 2nd down and 2 at the 33. Going to go to Robertson on the little misdirection. Robertson picks up the 1st down, and then the ball comes out. Collingswood has it, and they're going to take it to the house. Collingswood is going to strike first. They just ripped the ball away from Demir Robertson, and they strike first. Calvin Toomer takes it away from Demir Robertson. 6-0 Collingswood.
Well, you could see that this has been an opportunistic defense. We saw the fumble into the end zone, and then there you saw the strip. And if they get a 2nd man in, they're going to go for the ball. Did that right there, and easily, obviously, the biggest play of the game for Collingswood.
And that's just, I believe, as the quarter expired.
And a big extra point here, so this is where Sterling's got to dig deep and get back into the rhythm that they've been in.
I don't know if Collingswood has a kicker.
Doesn't now. I'm not seeing a kicking tee, guys.
So they're going to go for 2 here.
Definitely at the end of play, I saw Robinson actually limping off, I believe.
Robertson, yeah, he looked like he was. So I don't know what happened. What happened there?
Man, turnovers. 2 biggies.
Yeah.
2 big ones in the 3rd. This could have been a 7-0 game. And Collingswood going to go for 2 right in front of us here. Man in motion. They're going to pitch. They're going to try and punch it into the near side. They're not going to get there. And that's how we're going to take it into the 4th quarter. 6-0 Collingswood on the scoop and score. Sterling's playoff hopes are going to come down to the final 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's been amazing here, too. Just every time, guys, you get the feeling, okay, Sterling's got the momentum, here we go. They cough it up at the goal line, and it looked like a decent run there, and that was just flat out taken away.
Yeah, have yardage, and give credit to Collingswood, a very opportunistic team on the defensive side of the ball, just sensing how this game is going and looking to make breaks on their own, and they were able to do that.
Let's give credit to the Sterling defense, too. They have been on the field a long time. They just held on a 4th down play again.
Yeah.
I think the defense has done everything they could. The offense has got to come up. They got that one big pass play to Beasley. They got to start making some plays.
And the one encouraging thing is they've been able to move the ball as this game's moved on. Again, you've just got to finish, and you can't have the turnovers.
All right, we'll bring back our TV audience here. And we want to welcome back everybody here as we are in the 4th quarter now. This will be the first play of the 4th quarter. Sterling is now down 6-0. Thank God it's only 6. 6-0 here. Tad Kosneski, Kevin Schulz, Rob Strauss, and our student John helping us out here on what shapes up to be a very interesting ending. The winner of this game is in the playoffs. If you lose, you're on the fence.
On the bubble.
You need some help, but you have a shot. It's not a deadlock that you're out.
Do we know who needs to lose to get Sterling
We
up?
do not at this point. It's so convoluted. I wish I knew what to tell you, but I don't. Wow. There's that squib kick line drive. And Kevin, you know, I'm a baseball coach here, and we're used to balls bouncing and a nice even. I mean, you can see how many twists and turns there were on that ball. That is not an easy thing to do, to say just jump on it.
Yeah, it's tough short hopping or in between hopping a baseball, let alone a football. You're hoping for that big high hop that you can just get and just fall on. So Sterling has their work cut out for them here, no question about it.
But they're moving the ball.
Yes.
They just kind of shooting themselves in the foot here a little bit. And now they have to come right into our living room here for the score to keep their playoff alive. And a big hit off the right side on 1st down from the 30. Couple yards there for Sterling.
It looks like our Collingswood player is down, Rob, so we're going to have an injury timeout.
So we'll take one as well. 11:44 remaining in the fourth, 6-0 Collingswood.
So Sterling has the ball on their own 30-yard line. You're almost in a situation, Kevin. It's 11:44. We're just underway here in the fourth quarter. You know Collingswood has a good ball possession offense. You need a very, very good drive right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not out of the realm. This team can definitely do it. They've turned around what they've been able to do on the offensive side of the ball. It's just finishing the drives, obviously, and not having the turnovers.
Again, we hope everyone's enjoying our live broadcast here on YouTube tonight. We were originally, obviously, we like being at the 50-yard line, but if you've ever been to Collingswood, this is what's left of the home bleachers. They are not there. They have been leveled. What you're looking at there is both sets of coaches on the ends, and the score operator is in the middle. We had an option of either, if we wanted to, stand over there amongst the crowd, but we didn't think we'd be able to see over the players. Plus, we're expecting rain tonight. We're within an hour and a half of getting some more rain, some rain that's going to be extensive. So we tried something different. We're here in the end zone, and it definitely gives you a unique perspective of what's going on.
And these stands, or the stands that were very, very old, and they took those down. I was here about a month ago for a tennis match. Sent a picture to I believe,
yeah,
you,
I
Ted,
got it, yeah,
of how they were demolishing those concrete stands. And Haddonfield did this last year. They had the little revamp their stands. They played all their games at Cherry Hill West last year.
But the difference with Haddonfield, Kevin, we've been there since then. Haddonfield just did some structural repairs. It looks the same.
Yeah, well, I think, all these have been, stood the test of time, and some have stood the test of time a little bit better. I was talking to Tony Carbone from Audubon, and he said even though they've done some work with their football stadium, which was about in the same time period that Haddonfield and Collingswood was, they've got to go in and look and make sure and do tests and make sure it's structurally sound.
And that's the battle these teams go through. Well, now the battle's with Sterling's offense, Rob.
After the injury timeout, 11:44 remaining. It's going to be a 2nd down and 7 from the 33 for Sterling.
We haven't heard much at all from our freshman wide receiver. We've seen a little of Matzik.
Estremera has...
Yeah. We've seen Beasley, but not recently much from him.
Estremera not even on the field right now. They're going to put Beasley, the lone wide receiver, Harmer in motion. They go right up the middle. I believe that's Jacob Johnson on the carry. Short gain for Johnson is going to bring up a 3rd down and I believe about 4 or 5.
And again, the ball's sitting at Sterling's own 33-yard line. They have got to find a way to get some first downs and change field position.
3rd and 6 on the way for Sterling.
A big play here. If you're Collingswood defensively, coming up with a stop, you figure at this point you're forcing the punt.
Put a man in motion in Robertson, who's back on the field. He's going to get the catch, and he coughs up the ball. It's on the field, and Sterling, I believe, falls on it again.
Well, that time it was Harmer jumped on it.
We'll see where they spot it. I mean, Robertson had the first down, and due to the fumble, I don't think they're going to pick up the first down now.
I think they're going to get it.
No, they
get it.
Wow.
Got a break.
Yeah, but then as you're looking at him, or maybe he's holding it loosely, at least he had the presence of mind. He had it on his outside hand. So that wasn't necessarily the issue. It's just they got to find a way. I mean, that could have ended the game right there.
Ball at the 40-yard line of Sterling, 1st and 10. Sterling doing everything that they possibly can to keep Collingswood into this game.
And I give credit to Collingswood anytime they get a chance to strip the ball, and that's a safe bet. You're near the sidelines.
1st and 10, they put Harmer in motion again. Wilsey in trouble in the backfield. He's going to go down. Loss on the play. Great pursuit. Austin Taylor in the backfield for the Panthers. That's going to bring up 2nd down and about 14.
And I think it's Coach Harris grasping at what can we get going here. I mean, we can run it a bit, but you got to get a big play. The play that they're getting to the outside, we've seen about 4 of them. The one we just fumbled on, that play is working. It's just now hold on to the ball.
That's the big thing. And you've got Collingswood defenders that are very opportunistic and coming up, making the hit and going for the ball.
2nd down and 15, ball at the 35. They're going to run it. Wilsey looking incomplete. Matt had it in and out of his hands. He threw it into traffic. Not sure if Matchett could have. That's one that he should have had.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one because he did throw into some coverage there. But nonetheless, incomplete. 3rd and 15 on the way. Ball at the 35 and 9:27 showing on the clock.
That looked like that was that drag with Matchett. I believe he lined up on the right side, coming underneath the coverage. And, you know, if your protection holds up, which it does, you're going to get him out there. Just wasn't able to bring that one in.
And if you're a wide receiver cutting across the field through the slot, the last thing you want to have to do is jump up in the air for a ball like that and expose your ribs.
Now it's an obvious pass situation here on 3rd and 15 from the 35. Pass is complete. Trying to get some extra yardage. I believe that's Robertson on the carry. Beasley on the completion, gain of 6. They bring a 4th down and 9. And the next snap is going to be under 9 minutes remaining, and the punt team will come out.
And that's just an effort to try to get the ball into Jameer Beasley's hands. You know, they're cutting off the go route. They're cutting off the slant. Just had him come right in, get the ball, and see if he could get his shoulders upfield. But a good job by Collingswood defensively.
Calvin Toomer back deep to receive the Harmer punt. And Harmer keeps it away from Toomer. Beautiful punt by Nick Harmer. Drops dead at about the 20-yard line. And that's where the Panthers will take over. 8:37 remaining in the 4th, 6-0 Collingswood.
How many times can Sterling go to the well in their defense and say, bail us out, bail us out?
This is and hey, I tell you what, if I'm a second man in on a ball, I want to turn the tables on Collingswood. And hey, you know, in on the ball carrier, go for the ball.
Collingswood has some size, and they've been pretty stout when they've run the ball thus far.
Sterling trailing this one 6-0 on the scoop and score by Collingswood to end the 3rd. Collingswood under center. Davis going to give the carry to Toomer. Short gain there. Excuse me, that's not Toomer. That's Michael Jenkins on the carry. Excuse me.
Nice plays by Sterling's number 36, who came in from the defensive secondary there. Rob made a nice play.
That's Shane L., the junior, doing a great job.
Looks like Shane L. came in, might have been like a corner blitz, but got up there and really made a nice play, gained penetration.
This Sterling defense is definitely kind of reminding me from last week against Overbrook. Against Overbrook, their defense was super strong, and right now they're kind of doing the same thing, like a lot of this in the second half right now.
Jenkins on the carry again, another short gain. Collingswood trying to keep their offense on the field, but they're play calling a little vanilla right now.
I think if I had to guess, I think you may have spooked a little bit the Collingswood coaches. The way Sterling's been putting it on the floor all night, they might think, you know what, it might be our turn. Let's take this conservative and just run some clock.
Yeah, this is a conservative approach, no question about it.
And the other thing is Sterling hasn't scored on you, so why not?
3rd and 5 from the 24 under 7:30 remaining in the 4th. And they may have gotten Sterling to jump. The hard count by Davis may have gotten him to jump. Or excuse me, by Clark may have gotten him to jump. Take a look at the call. If this it's the first penalty against Sterling tonight. And that will give Collingswood a 1st down.
Oh, wow.
It is.
Yeah, tough one.
And the reason that's tough, there goes some more time off the clock.
Sure. Yeah, another set of downs.
It was 3rd and 5 at the 24. Now they're going to say 3rd and short.
Oh, okay.
But that even makes it worse because if it's an extra play that they can still run.
You convert it. Now, this is where you need penetration into the backfield. No question about it, because once these guys get going, they're easily able to get short yardage.
Clark under center with Page in the backfield, as well as Toomer. It's going to go to Page. He picks up the 1st down and then some. Gavin Clark on the tackle for Sterling. But more importantly for the Panthers, it's a 1st down. Both teams a full supplement of timeouts. And after this next snap, you're looking at under 6.5 remaining in the 4th.
This is trouble for Sterling right now, Kevin. I mean, the way Collingswood can move it 2 and 3 yards at a clip, this is going to be difficult.
And they're going to do pretty much, you have to figure what they did, you know, on this prior series of downs here, to get the, you know, the first couple plays.
Clark snaps the ball with 6.5 remaining. They hand it off the left side to Calvin Toomer. The junior takes it out for about a 4-yard gain.
Nice run by Toomer there, cutting it upfield, getting probably about 3 or 4 yards
Wow, he
after
got a lot more
initial
than I
contact.
thought. Yeah, he got a lot more than I thought. We're going to call that a gain of about 8, believe it or not, by Toomer. 2nd down and 2 from the 39, under 6 minutes remaining here in the 4th. And you have to think, guys, if Collingswood can pick up, say, 3 more first downs.
That might do it.
Could do it right here, yeah.
But Sterling has all 3 timeouts remaining. See if Sterling can create a turnover here. Handoff again off the right side, plenty of room. Plenty of room down that far side, and Collingswood is gonna take it the distance. 61 yards, touchdown Panthers.
61-yard run,
Michael Jenkins on the carry for 61 yards, and it's 12-0 Collingswood.
And we said, how many times can you go to the well with this Sterling defense? They played a great game thus far. That's really what you call their only mistake of the game.
Yeah, one big play right there, and with the way this game's going, obviously with 5 minutes left, it's puts Sterling in a tough spot, no question about it.
They're going to go for 2. Nonetheless, it's a 2-touchdown game. They're going to run it to the, it's going to be a throw to the end zone, and it is caught for the 2-point conversion. 14-0 Collingswood, 5:33 remaining in the 4th.
It just goes like any other sport, Kevin. If you have your back against the wall, defense did what they could. It's just the offense has turned it over too many times tonight. It's killed Sterling.
Yeah, it has. It's you felt pretty good. Geez, right at the end of the quarter, you were driving, but obviously turnovers have been the story of the game.
1 turnover at the 1-yard line, gets fumbled into the end zone. Collingswood picks up, takes it out to the 20. Another one at the midfield point. So Sterling has had their chances, but this Collingswood defense is good, and they've been very opportunistic. They've taken, and it's not like Sterling has just dropped it. These balls have been taken away.
Yeah, you're second man in on it, and even, the one when Demir Robertson had the catch over there, it looked like it was the first man in, but sensing that you have the sideline right there, if you miss it, you're still pushing him out of bounds, but he went with the rip.
So after the 61-yard touchdown run, Collingswood leads this one 14-0. Michael Jenkins just took it to the house with a ton of speed off the right side. 5:33 remains in what could be the Sterling playoff hopes really starting to dwindle.
Well, you're going to see probably another kick of the squib variety, you have to believe.
They do go with the squib, takes a bounce. Sterling picks it up on the far side, right in front of the Sterling bench. Not sure who picked it up. It's picked up by Jesus Diaz, a sophomore. And now Sterling has their work cut out for them. All 3 timeouts. 1st and 10 from their own 40.
And the toughest thing about right now is that you need yards in big chunks in a game you haven't scored yet. You can move the ball, but
you're most likely going to have to throw. Collingswood knows you're going to have to throw, so it's not going to be easy.
And Collingswood's done a nice job avoiding having Sterling come up with a big play, except for the one to Jameer Beasley.
You got to come out and get that kicking tee. There you go.
The play of the game, hands down, is the fumble by Nick Harmer into the end zone. That really changed the momentum of the entire game.
Yeah, Sterling was looking to, we actually thought they were going to score on that play.
Yep.
Wilsey under center on 1st and 10 from the 34, Wilsey passes out into flat. Robertson drops it. Had it, bobbled it, and dropped it. He would have been dropped for a short gain anyway, as there were 2 Collingswood defenders in the area.
And they're playing the type of game where they're going to allow you the short passes, come up, make the play, keep everybody in bounds, and that's right now what Collingswood has to do with 5:25 left in this game with a 14-0 lead.
Well, you don't have to go far to realize it's not impossible if you watch the Eagles game last week, but you got to be able to make some big plays right now.
Second down and 10, ball at the 34-yard line. Beasley sets up as a lone wide receiver. They put Harmer in motion. Wilsey back to pass. Incomplete, looking for Jared Matchett. Penalty marker comes in late. Matchett did get a hand on it.
Yeah, that could be the big play. I don't know where we are. You can't tell if there was a hold or what it was, but
I think it might be pass interference.
You would think.
Yeah. It didn't look like it was pass interference again. I'm thinking it might be something like right before, a couple, maybe 5 yards before the end.
A personal foul, guys.
Personal foul.
Okay.
On the defense.
Again, we don't know what that personal foul was, but somewhere.
Take it.
Talk about helping out your team, man. That's the last thing.
Well, that'll put the ball nearly
right now.
nearly midfield, and a shorter porch for Rob Wilsey and the Sterling offense.
And it's coming down to, we've asked, for Beasley to make some plays, and it's going to be Matchett. One of those two is your hope, and you got Beasley going wide out to our right.
Maybe do a streak.
We'll see.
Wilsey under center. Will sweep to the left-hand side, and Collingswood all over it, and they stay in bounds, taking a huge hit. And that's Shane L, I believe, on the carry.
Now, one thing Collingswood done a nice job throughout this game is getting to those plays where Sterling's trying to get around the edge. They really get their linebackers active and going to the outside, and you saw that right there. And not only did they do that, but they avoided Shane L getting out of bounds, and they're able to keep the clock running.
Second down and 9 from midfield. Beasley, again, the lone wide receiver. They put Harmer in the slot. Harmer stays in the slot. Wilsey back to pass, and he goes down in the backfield. Loss on the play. Wilsey goes down. It'll bring up third down and long.
And we talked about it, Rob. Collingswood knows Sterling has to pass, so they don't have to worry about much of anything else. And Wilsey's just got to scramble for his life and get things going.
It's going to be about 3rd and 20.
This is a situation where you want to keep things loose, but at the same time, with the 2-score lead, with them being at midfield, you could still try a blitz, and I think that's what they might have done right there to get in on Wilsey.
3rd and 22, ball at the 42, under 4 minutes to play in the fourth. Collingswood leading 14-0. Wilsey scrambling for his life. He's running to his own sideline. Takes a late hit. That should be a penalty. I don't see a flag. And we also can't see where the sideline chalk is either.
They're right there. They would know. Well, what do we got left here on this one, Rob?
4th and about 11.
No, this is it. This is definitely it.
Chuck it up to Beasley. Hopefully he makes that 50-50 catch, maybe.
And a timeout on the field. 3:25 remaining in the fourth. Clock will continue to run. I think that was an official timeout. That was not a team timeout. Both teams, all 3 timeouts. That's more important for Sterling than it is for Collingswood. Clock continues to run. They put more time back on the clock. 3:48 now. 4th and 11 from the 47. Wilsey, pass. Incomplete. Wilsey had Harmer and Matchett in the same area, and the miscommunication will turn the ball over on downs. Collingswood takes over.
Well, give credit to Collingswood. We've seen that throughout this game. There were times when Strong was able to make completions, but doing a good job in this series of downs, either getting to the point where they can knock the pass down like they did right there, or keeping the receiver in front of them, and did what they had to do right there.
From our vantage point, it looked like a pretty good pass.
Yeah.
Again, I just don't know what happened, but it looked like it was a catchable ball, and they just couldn't come up with it.
On the turnover on downs, 1st and 10. Collingswood at their own 42-yard line. They're going to pitch to the near side, and Sterling all over it. Page on the carry, stays in bounds. Shane L on the stop. Second down on the way, under 3:30 remaining. And barring a miracle, Sterling's playoff hopes are all but over.
It's on a fence right now. They still have a shot. Collingswood knows they're going to be in. Sterling's going to be reading the scores tonight and tomorrow, seeing what happens and hoping that they can somehow get in the last spot.
Well, the #1 seed is Haddonfield. As it stands right now, a lot of residual points to be had. 3 minutes remaining. Collingswood, 2nd down and 6 from the Sterling 44. They go off to the left side this time and getting some nice yardage before being pushed out of bounds. That will stop the clock, but I believe they pick up a 1st down. Got some speed on the outside too there, Schulze, with those running backs.
They've stretched the field and gotten around the edge at times when they needed some big plays and gone tackle to tackle. But again, you go back to them just being very opportunistic on the defensive side of the ball.
Official timeout on the field, 2:49 showing on the clock.
This is where if you're Sterling, you know, we always say 2nd man in, try and go for the ball. I think if you're the 1st man in, you're making a tackle. You're looking for the strip right now, and Collingswood obviously knows that. And this is where you're not going to try to go for those extra yards. Just go down, keep both arms wrapped around the ball.
Well, we saw how much a scoop and score can mean to a team. We saw it here tonight, and that's no bigger evidence than that.
Yep.
Sterling can get a scoop and score score here and make it interesting in the last 2 and change. You never know.
Yeah.
But again, you know, the odds are right now stacked against them.
Yeah, especially when Collingswood right now is a fresh set of downs.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Collingswood.
Handed off tackle, off the right side. Clock will continue to run now. Coach Harris will take his first of 3 timeouts. 2:42 remaining on that 1st and 10.
It's been kind of a tough year for Sterling. Again, they knew they weren't going to have the type of team that they had last year, but they hung around. They've done a decent job of hanging. This is a game that they needed tonight to kind of show that they've made some progress. And this Collingswood team was given some things on a platter tonight, and they took advantage.
Well, I think one of the things that we're not used to playing Collingswood this early in the season. This has been traditionally a Thanksgiving game matchup, and with the realignment of the West Jersey Football League, and the state wants to have a quote-unquote national champion or state champion. A lot of teams lost that Thanksgiving game, and there's pros and cons either side of that. But it's a storied rivalry here between these two squads.
No question about it. You've had some great games over the last few years. I know last time we were here, it ended in overtime.
After the Sterling timeout, 2:42 left, 2nd down and 9, ball at the Sterling 36-yard line. Clark under center. Puts a man in motion, and now, is that a Collingswood timeout?
Yes.
Timeout Collingswood. And getting back to the Thanksgiving, a lot of the teams lost the Thanksgiving matchup. Some teams battled to keep them. I know Haddon Heights and Haddonfield battled to keep theirs, and they did. A number of other schools.
And Haddon Township.
Yep. And, tradition's nice.
It's amazing. These two teams started playing against each other in 1965. They went to Thanksgiving game in 1978. Would you guys believe this series is tied coming in tonight? It's 26 and 1.
Unbelievable.
Coming into tonight's game.
Well, the last time we were here, it went to overtime, and it was on a quarterback keeper by Matt Mignano a couple years back, right in front of us, actually, to win the game. And what an amazing way to go into Thanksgiving for the Silver Knights.
I told Coach Wiley I'd give him a shout-out. When our former coach never lost to Collingswood.
After a Collingswood timeout, 2nd down and 9 for the Panthers. They're going to go off the right side, some room there, but a nice pursuit and a nice tackle. And now another timeout on the carry by Page.
Boy, Shane L's all over the field. He's made, I think, 3 of the last 4 tackles, coming up, getting to that play to the outside. That's where you have him, his safety coming up as a run stopper.
Just got an update on my phone. Rain will begin around 8:15 p.m.
Uh-oh, what time is it now?
8 p.m.
Needless to say, there won't be a post-game show tonight.
No, there will not be a post-game. The post-game wrap-up is going to take hopefully about 7 minutes.
Yeah, we will be sprinting to move along.
Do not want to be in this rain.
Want to give a giant shout-out to the Collingswood athletic staff and their maintenance crew for allowing us to set up and bring this broadcast to you here tonight.
Here we are, the guys right from on the track.
Sitting up on the track here tonight, doing a kind of an impromptu broadcast here from the track. You see this in baseball where they set up in center field sometimes on some of the national broadcasts.
Definitely interesting from this perspective. Certain things are neat, but boy, it's very difficult to see numbers and difficult to see how many yards runs go for, or passes for that matter.
3rd and 6. And Collingswood on the carry off the left side, and Sterling will take their final timeout.
Definitely got to get a stop here. If not, it probably might as well just say
timeout.
It'll be a 4th and about 5.
So
2:28 remaining.
If we were looking ahead, not really knowing what is going on, we do know if Sterling would qualify for the playoffs, they would be the A seed. Most likely that means a game at Haddonfield, the #1 seed, and the defending champs. Is going to be a very difficult game. If they do not get that A seed, then they will be in a consolation game. They will match up against a team with a similar record. The game could be home, the game could be away, and if once that's played, that's your season. You're done.
And we've seen a lot of those consolation games. It's great to give the seniors that one last game. They fell a little bit short of the playoffs. We've seen that in years past where they play teams that you wouldn't see all the time. Right. Cedar Creek, and it's just a different look at a different team from a different conference from a different area.
Sure. I know the one year we played Cedar Creek, and they said they were the best team we played all year.
After Sterling's final timeout, 4th and 5 for Collingswood from the Sterling 32. They pick up a first down here, and that wraps up. They go to the air, and they go to the end zone, and it is caught inside the 10. And now Collingswood can just run out the clock. They've only passed the ball a handful of times today. They reach into the passing playbook and pull this one out, and now they can just kneel on it.
Yeah, and that's where Sterling, I don't think, was expecting that. You know, in a lot of situations you're having your defensive backs come up as run stoppers, and Collingswood went for the kill right there and were able to get it.
Definitely not a good thing to see for Sterling, just wanting to see them get to the playoffs too.
Yeah, just a tough one, John, no question about it.
Under 2 minutes remaining. It appears that Collingswood is in the victory formation. And they're waiting for the back judge to kind of count this one off. And then they'll snap the ball. And they do kneel on it. The coaches are coming down off the scissor lifts. 90 seconds remaining and a couple snaps left, and then that'll do it. And Sterling's playoff hopes are in the hands of a handful of other teams.
You're just at the mercy of looking to see what else is going to happen, and just a disappointing game, no question about it. And to feel like at the end of that 3rd quarter, you had the momentum, you were doing a lot of good things on both sides of the ball, but give credit to Collingswood for coming up with a couple of opportunistic plays and really turning this game around and taking it from there.
Under a minute now, Collingswood takes another knee.
So we will find out what's going to happen next week. Again, could be a playoff game if you get in as the A seed. Maybe, you know, if they do, it'll be at Haddonfield. If not, it'll be a consolation game. Just stay tuned to social media, and we'll figure out what's going on with regards to that next game.
I probably won't find out until maybe Monday.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. And this is probably your last snap, Rob.
Collingswood lines it up from the Sterling 6-yard line on a gutsy 4th down call to seal the game. The Panther faithful migrating off the hill, and that will do it. Collingswood shuts out Sterling at home. They're going to finish the regular season 6-2. Sterling a game under 500 at 4-5. Kevin.
Yeah, just Collingswood did what they had to do to basically find a way to take over that fourth quarter of this game, and went away with probably their biggest win of the year.
And that'll wrap it up as the two teams meet at midfield. The playoff are in the hands of other teams at this point. And we'll stay tuned for Sterling High School Radio as well as Channel 19 for updates on what's happening. I'd like to thank the Collingswood athletic staff for setting us up here. For Tad Kozaneski, Kevin Schulz, John Hallwood, I'm Rob Strauss. We'll see you next time on Channel 19 and Sterling High School Radio. It's 14-0 Collingswood over Sterling. Good night.